Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. B, your Cajun Connection, on the banks, on the levee of the Mississippi River. But not only are we on the levee of the Mississippi River, but we are standing in front of the historic Alley Plantation after Hurricane Ida. And as you can see, it's still for the most part standing, but there's a lot of work going on because some of the trees were damaged. The good thing about it is, even though the damage is fairly extensive, these old souls will rebound. And I'm looking at some broken branches. There. There. And you can hear in the background there's a lot of heavy equipment picking up the debris from Hurricane Ida. Look at that. So all in all, looks like the alley, this historic alleyway of live oak trees planted a couple of hundred years ago is going to be just fine. Now, Ida did some damage to nearby St. Joe Plantation, but they don't have this iconic view here. But these monsters, these trees, these have seen a lot of things. And so we are glad that they survived Hurricane Ida, relatively intact. It could have been much, much worse, ladies and gentlemen. Much, much worse. I would think probably, because I have one of these in my yard, my own yard. Of course, not 200 years old, but a few, about 40 years old. And I know the growth patterns, and they sustain some serious damage and come right back. We're going to take a walk, we're going to take a drive over to the restaurant part of this historic plantation and see how it weathered, so to speak, the storm. Just pan, and as you can see, the alley, beaten, weathered, and worn, is still standing tall, is still standing proud. There we go. This is as close as I can get, because it's closed, and like I said, there's a lot of work going on to clean up the debris. This is Dr. B. I am your Cajun Connection, and we're standing in front of Alley Plantation, doing a couple things, reminiscing of past times and regal splendor, and optimistic about the recovery of these trees and how they'll look in a couple of years. So here we are. We are going to take a drive toward the Oak Alley restaurant. As you can see, definitely closed. The tourist center, the restaurant, still have a few power lines hanging down that haven't been picked up yet. Gardens are nice though. Flowers are still blooming. It's amazing how a hurricane can take down a towering oak and leave a rose bush unscathed. and a fragile blade of grass, not even touched. As you can see, a few workers coming and going just to try to get this place back into shape, tourist shape. Although the plantation used to have festivals on the grounds and all kinds of art festivals and craft shows, they stopped doing that because the patrons were tearing up the yards so much that they just stopped. And I'm glad they did, because some things shouldn't be hurt by profiteering. This is a relic of a bygone era. I'm glad that it's going to be standing for a while still. Right next door is famous St. Joe Plantation. As you can see, coming up on. And it looks good. But it doesn't have the same tree risk, as Old Galley. Well, this is Dr. B driving on the river road, on the meandering river road of the great Mississippi River, in a little town called Vacherie. And we'll catch you in the next video.